Let's take a look at number 9. Finding all the zeros of the function f of x is equal to x to the third plus 6x squared plus 8x minus 3. And we're going to do this by hand. We've already done it on the calculator. Okay, there we go. So find all the zeros. Well, what that basically means, let me write this problem down first. F of x is equal to x to the third plus 6x squared plus 8x minus 3. To find all the zeros, that basically means to set it equal to 0. So let's go ahead and do that. X to the third plus 6x squared plus 8x minus 3 equal to 0. Now, the number at the very end, this is going to be our p. So p is 3. And then the number at the very beginning is going to be our q. There is no number before the x to the third, so it's by default 1. So we're going to list all the products that give us 3. Well, 1 times 3. Now you may be looking at that saying, well, it's not 3, it's negative 3. Well, how we handle that is to get a negative 3, you can multiply positive 1 times a negative 3, or a negative 1 times a positive 3. So we don't worry about signs when we write these down, because we're going to put a plus or minus before each one of them anyway. So our p is going to be plus or minus 1, plus or minus 3. Now our q is 1, we said. The only thing that gives you 1 is 1 times 1. But again, we need the plus or minus, because you could have negative 1 times negative 1. So you always put the plus or minus to handle any combination of the signs. Now our possible answers are going to be p over q. So we're going to take each value of p and put it over the q. So we got plus or minus 1 over 1 and plus or minus 3 over 1. Well, 1 over 1 is 1, so we got plus or minus 1. And 3 over 1 is 3, so we got plus or minus 3. So those are our 4 possible answers. Well, what we're going to do is we'll start with the first one, positive 1, and we'll plug it into synthetic division and see if that's one of our answers. Remember synthetic division, we take the number off of the coefficients, the numbers off of the x's. The number for the x to the third is 1, for x squared is 6, before x is 8, and the number at the end is negative 3. And then we'll go through a series of adding, multiplying over and over. Starting with our leftmost column, 1 plus nothing is 1. And then we'll multiply. You always multiply by the number up in the box, by the number you just put down there. 1 times 1 is 1. Then we add, 6 plus 1 is 7. Then we multiply, 1 times 7, 7. Add, 8 plus 7, 15. Multiply, 1 times 15 is 15. And then add, negative 3 plus 15 gives us 12. Now what we're looking for is we're looking for a zero's remainder. Well, there's no 0 there, so that's not one of our answers. So let's go to our next possible answer, the negative 1. And we'll plug it into synthetic division. So I'll go through add, 1 plus nothing is 1, multiply. You always multiply by the number in the box, by the number you just put down there. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. Add, 6 minus 1, 5. Negative 1 times 5, negative 5. Add, 8 minus 5 is 3. Multiply, negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. And add, negative 3 gives us negative 6. Yet again, we don't have a 0. So we go on to our next possible answer, 3. And we plug it in. So we're going to add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. Still don't have a 0. So let's go to negative 3. And we'll add, multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. And this time we do get a 0 as a remainder. If you get a 0 as a remainder, that means that's one of your answers. So our first answer is x equals negative 3. Well, after you find one answer, this starts out as x to the third up here. Right below it, that's 1 degree lower. It's early. I still haven't woke up. That's x squared. Then this will be x, and this is our no x, our constant term. So we're left with x squared plus 3x minus 1 equal to 0. Now this won't factor, so we have to use quadratic formula. Now a is what's for our x squared, which is 1, and b is what's for our x, which is 3, and c is our number at the end, which is negative 1. Quadratic formula is negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we got negative 3 plus or minus 3 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is negative 1, over 2 times 1, which gives us negative 3 plus or minus 3 squared is 9. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, times a negative 1 gives us a positive 4 over 2, which gives us negative 3 plus or minus square root of 13 over 2. And those are our other two answers. Now our largest power of x tells us how many answers we're going to have. And we found x equals negative 3 and then these two. So that's our three answers. And let's see which one that matches. Kind of looks like B is in Bill. And it does. Let's go double check that. 9B. And that checks.